Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently building factories and lobbying Parliament. We've got a ways to go here, of course, and we will see... Okay, Otto von Habsburg returned to the federal state of Austria. Cool. Well, we will see what ends up happening in terms of, like, whether this war breaks out or not. It may or may not happen. That's okay. We are trying to be peaceful. So if it doesn't happen, that's kind of ideal. If it does happen, maybe a little less ideal. I don't know. We have a free military factory. Really? Interesting. So we should probably put this into making more infantry equipment then. Cool. We must have gotten that from one of our events. I didn't realize there's a military factory coming through here. Let's see. From here? Yeah, military factory in Fortify Aden. Cool. So that is absolutely wonderful. We're going to be incorporating the East India Company shortly here, of course. And that will be absolutely wonderful. So then the question becomes, how long until our next construction is done? Well, kind of our first construction? Is this our first construction, or did we already complete one in South Baluchistan? I'm not sure. Regardless, it's going to be done in a little bit under a month, so that is looking very good indeed. We certainly do want to get all of that built. We want to get all this infrastructure built as well. We just need to get as many civilian factories put up as we can right now. That is absolutely the top priority for us at this moment. So checking in here, we're going to be done lobbying Parliament in just a couple of days here. Fantastic. And we will see what Britain does here. They're going to get an event, Price Chaos in British Raj. So that is now completed, and we want to incorporate the East India Company next. So that's going to remove risk of famine. It's going to upset the Congress leaders. Fair enough. The East India investment schemes and taxes is now active, unlocking decisions to pay out dividends to investors. Oh, we will become free. Okay, that's good to know. The Raj will be split between the East India Company and the remnants of India. I wonder if the locations we're building in will be valid still or not. Well, we're going to do it. We're going to have this factory completed by that point. So that looks good for now. Price Chaos is, of course, happening here, and we'll see what the remnants of India are, but we're going to need to retake those remnants, and we're going to try to do that via economic means, which apparently is a thing. So we'll have to see how that ends up going. It'll be interesting. We're not going to try to be particularly militarily minded here. That's the idea, anyway. So we just went up to 15 factories, and that is not this one being completed. It will be done in just 5 days here. So then the real question is, will Baluchistan be part of the East India Company or not? I guess we'll find out. We'll take it back at some point anyway, most likely. So that is now done, and the Olympics were held in Berlin, as expected. Okay, so the real question here is, how is this going to go? Because I don't know what is going to be the remnants of India. That'll be real interesting to find out. So we're going to have some potential problems here. No doubt about it. That's okay. We are absolutely looking for that. We will become independent, though, which is neat. So this is going to be done here in about 5 days. Everything is looking good there. We're only at 5.8% tension from the Reich at this point. So we'll see if they end up doing anything. As of right now, this is not going very well, but it's only 1936, right? So there's the incorporation of the East India Company. Okay. Huh. So we're the East India Company, and now we need a new focus here. So we cannot appoint a C-suite because we've not paid dividends to investors. Okay. So we could just grab East India Railways probably to boost up like railway and infrastructure construction speed for the time being. We need to pay dividends, and let's see how we do that. Amount of taxable civilian factories, 6. Okay, I want to check in here. Yeah, so we only have a couple of states here. I'm noting that there's still British Raj. Let's give it like a day tick. Okay. So this is very, very small. Noted. I think we should combine together these armies then. And we should just put a defensive line up over here at this point. There we go. Are these guys heading over? They're not assigned to this. Okay, now they're heading over. So that seems okay. We're now independent, and we need to see what we've got going on here. So our tax brackets here, taxable income bracket, 0 to 8 factories, tax rate. There's an arrow here saying this is our current tax bracket. Amount of taxable civilian factories is 6. We have paid no dividends to investors, yielding no bonus for the next fiscal year. We pay tax as a percentage of our income in layers called tax brackets. As our income goes up, the tax rate on the next layer of income is higher. You can see here, 0, 15, 30, 60. Okay. At the end of every fiscal year, we need to pay taxes to the British government, depending on how big our industry is. This is determined by our amount of civilian factories. The amount is paid in consumer goods factories factor. How much is to be paid is determined by different tax brackets as follows. Okay. So we can put an end to the taxes for good. For that, we have to control the greater London area. That's hilarious. We can default on debt. I don't think we have debt right now. So we can pay out a small amount of dividends to our investors, or a normal amount, or a high amount. This is at the end of the fiscal year. Remove 4 civilian factories permanently. Huh. Modifies external investments to be production efficiency growth plus 16%, construction speed plus 35% for the duration of the next fiscal year. Okay. So that's very interesting. If we look at this, this is going to be completed in 29 January 1838. Okay. So that is noted. And then if we go into the British Raj, I'm wondering what we can do here. Ask for control of a state? We cannot ask for state control from someone we're not fighting a war with. So no, this is not what we're looking for here. Perhaps there is an option in here? Region-wide industrial integration is definitely something we want to be doing. I'm thinking right now we should pay out a small dividend. This is going to remove that factory at the end of the fiscal year for now. So we need to do that. A small amount of dividends here. Now, this is fine. So that's going to spend one of these factories at the end of the year. Understood. We're going to work on construction here for sure. And we've still got John Mathai here. So that's a good thing. Okay, so we're going to get East India Railways, and then we're probably going to appoint a C-suite here. And then we would get the event to form a CEO. Okay, so we definitely want to do some stuff over here. Land acquisition, Bombay and Gujarat adding infrastructure. Okay. My main question right now is, how do we start expanding into the British Raj, right? And all of these guys should be here. Just want to make sure that they're doing that. So how do we do this? Let's take a look here for the moment, and I just want to look through this one more time. I don't see anything new here. Okay. So taxes are definitely a thing. That's understood. But I was led to believe, and I think this is probably true, I just don't know exactly how to do it yet, that there's a way here to purchase additional territory with this system. So this is just the international market here. This is regular trade. There's almost certainly a way to do this. We might not have it unlocked yet. So that is definitely something to think about. We'll proceed for now. And we are small at this point. Ethiopia has capitulated. No shockers said. So we're just going to get our troops into position here, and we'll just hold this position for the time being. So we're working on building our factory here. If I had known what states we were going to have, we would have focused our factories earlier on developing just these 2 states. Probably developed them in full before forming the East India Company would be the way that I would have done that, and then we would form this. But as it is, you live and you learn, right? So that is absolutely fine. We want to probably just delete this order. I need to remember how to do that. I think we need to go into here and use this tool. Yes, that's what we needed. Okay, perfect. So that is absolutely fine for now. You can see our amount of manpower has significantly dropped. And I'm wondering about our research. -7 because of our upset Congress leaders. Okay, that's noted. So we have insufficient resources, specifically steel, at this moment. We should definitely be importing a little bit of steel. We could import from the US for a civilian factory. I don't like utilizing a civilian factory for that right now. We're down to 2 civilian factories here. Oof. So East India Railways has finished. The question is this going to get us any... This is all about rail here, right? Right. I'm wondering about getting some free development here. So I think we need to appoint a C-suite here. Let's see. Take over administrative rights. Company bonuses. This is what we need. So this will give us 3 new civilian factories. So we'll go ahead and appoint a C-suite and work our way down there. That will definitely be a useful thing. So it's going to take a while to get these civilian factories online, and we're going to lose one at the end of this fiscal year. So we need to keep that in mind. That's 324 days out. We can get a number of these focuses completed before then. So that will be absolutely good. Now we're at 75 political power right now. We're only gaining half a point per day, and that's not terribly surprising. Our stability is currently quite low, and to that end, can we do anything about that? Let's see. This would give us stability for sure. We're not aligned right now, right? Actually, our party ideology is primarily democratic. But we are non-aligned, and we don't have elections. So I think we should probably do something about that. So specifically, what I want to do is I want to do anti-democratic raids here. Drop that democracy support a little bit. So that'll be fine. Excellent. And we'll get the C-suite appointed here soon enough. We had to pay dividends before we could do this, so that's absolutely necessary. So yeah, I'm thinking we might not have the ability unlocked. What's this? Hostile takeover? Unlocks decision to buy states for civilian factories. States that we originally start with gets a discount when buying. That's what we need. Okay. So that's absolutely excellent. So we need to really get our civilian factories going here. Like, tremendously. And then go take over London so we can stop paying taxes. That would be the idea. So we need to think about these taxes. That's going to be a bit of a thing, looking at this tax bracket. So 0 to 8 factories is a 0% tax rate. But 9 to 20 factories, it jumps up to 15. That's significant. Okay, so we can appoint a CEO here. Let's see here. Production efficiency, I don't actually care about that much. Construction speed plus 5%. That's pretty good. Let's take that. They need to be ruthless. So that'll be perfect. And now, of course, we can start working towards hostile takeover. But what we, I think, absolutely need to do first is we need to do company bonuses. Now, corporate expansion will also get us a military factory and a civilian factory. And then legalizing the opium trade. Interesting. And then the third opium war. We probably don't want to do that necessarily. But, well, actually, we do, but we don't necessarily want to do the war. We want them to just accept it. ideally. Okay, so fuel for fire down here, factory output. Yeah, sure. So this gives us some infrastructure. I'm just thinking about what we might want to take before we grab hostile takeover. Every subject that is on the Indian subcontinent will receive 1 civilian factory and 3 building slots. Subjects not yet released will receive the bonus once released. Interesting. Civilian industry to overlord plus 50%. So I think that the goal here, then, would be to release them and then reintegrate them repeatedly to get the bonus civilian factories and building slots. If I'm understanding how this is working correctly, I believe that's how that's supposed to go. So privatized tutelage here would give us a research slot. That would be neat. But we have to go company bonuses first. I think there's no real way around it. We need as many civilian factories as we can get going right now. That is our top priority. That's for sure. So we'll work on that for the time being. And, I mean, if the rest of the world is going to be pretty peaceful, that's good for us. We like that. We'll see if the war breaks out. But honestly, so far so good. Germany's been reasonably well behaved thus far. What are they working on right now? The United Mexican States just declared war on Mexico. Okay, this pop-up is new. That's interesting. So the German Reich over here is doing an unknown focus. We don't know what they're working on. Okay, so this is a Mexican situation here for sure. That's a long ways away. We don't really care that much. So our manpower is very low right now. I'm guessing that this is probably due to our recruitment. And I'm just going to take this up to like 24 divisions for right now, and then we'll stop our recruitment. So I'm not too concerned about that at this moment. Research finished on Construction 1. That is, of course, very, very good. And we could go for Construction 2. That's currently very slightly ahead of time. Or we could just grab Concentrated Industry. And that's what we're going to do. So that looks good for the time being. Okay, deploy units. Yes, no location is set. They can just deploy down here. There we go. So this guy can hop in right over here. There we go. And as far as the rest of these go, these are currently set to do infinite deployments. So we probably... Yeah, this is a new one here. So we probably want to get just the 3 additional units, right? So I'm going to add a unit here, but I only want to do 1. Okay, so these are going to be done once they're done. And that's it. So that's absolutely fine for now. Now we do have 2 military factories. So we could think about doing a conversion here. Actually, I want to be in production. Never mind. We only have 1 military factory. I want to still have 1 military factory. So we're going to need to produce some amount of infantry equipment, right? So that should be reasonably fine for now. So the end of the fiscal year is in 265 days. We're going to get 3 new civilian factories here in 4 days. That is, of course, going to be a significant boon for us, bringing our number of factories up. Okay, so there's company bonuses. And we went from 2 to 5, so all of these are currently coming in here. That looks good. This is going to be done in 8 October of 1937, so that's just after the fiscal year. Okay, so we definitely want to continue to work on that, and I think corporate expansion is the way to go. I really, really do. I think we need to hold off on going down this way until we filled out this area reasonably thoroughly. So let's do this for now. We'll get corporate expansion underway. That'll get us a military factory and a civilian factory. And I'm probably interested in converting that military factory over to a civilian factory. But I think after we've completed these constructions would be the theory. Okay, so mechanical computing has finished. And we probably want to then honestly grab Construction 2. It's going to be a high priority for us. So let's get that underway. And that boosts up our construction speed a little bit. How long are we going to have upset Congress leaders? Is this just until we get something that changes it, or is this timed? That's just until we get something that changes it. Okay, so that is understood. Absolutely noted. We don't want to do any war goals down over here, although getting these research slots down this way would be good. So we may want to go down this way eventually, but for now we're far more interested in this area out over here. So that'll be wonderful. We'll get our corporate expansion done, and then this will give us opium trade. So, I mean, our stability is not amazing right now, but we are working on it. We've got those anti-democratic raids. So we could also go in here and do anti-fascist and anti-communist raids. We do have a decent amount of both of those. So we could do anti-fascist raids for right now, but we're also going to want to run anti-communist raids. This is where we're going to be putting a significant amount of our political power for a little while. So that is understood. We want to get our politics over to non-aligned for the moment. That's the goal here. So that'll be absolutely great. And in terms of our recruitments here, this is going to take a little bit. That's absolutely understood. No significant issues there, I don't think. So corporate expansion is finishing now. There's the Spanish Civil War firing off. Okay, cool. So that's where things really start to kick off in terms of the global tension, but we'll see what happens with it. So infrastructure here. Honestly, we should take this. So we'll do that. And as far as who's going to support all of this over here, well, and who's going to win, we'll find out. That'll be interesting. But for the moment, we do want to go and put a military factory on this production line right here. So that'll be fine, but I also want to convert a military factory to a civilian factory. So what do we have here? Here's a military factory, and we're going to convert this building. That's now... Do we not have to do this construction-wise? Oh, yeah, we do. Okay, so this is down here, and that's about where I want it to be. Low priority. So that'll be fine for now. I'm assuming we can still construct with it militarily for the moment. Yes. Beautiful. That's what we want. So just put it in the queue. It's not high priority at this moment. So that looks good. And we'll be grabbing the infrastructure here shortly. After that, fuel for fire will be a decent thing to take. Grant stability -3, but factory output plus 8%. So that's pretty decent. We're working up our stability with the anti-democratic and anti-fascist raids right now, not actually anti-communist raids. Although we will get to those. We want to get rid of those too. So that'll be absolutely wonderful. Vaspid Estonia has declared war on Estonia. Okay. I wish them luck in that endeavor. I'm sure they will have a great time with that. Excellent. So China is very weak in this era. No doubt about that. And the question is, do we want to actually fight them? Well, no. We'll demand that they open the opium trade, but we're not going to actually declare war on them. We'll see what they say. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So we want to get at least up to the point where we have 15 constructions going here, right? So we want to get at least this up to full. Now that's going to mean that we have a higher tax bracket, which is going to be a bit painful for us. We're already in the second tax bracket here, so that's understood. Land acquisition, and the tax bracket is actually a good reason to pay out high dividends. There's a number of good reasons to pay out high dividends. We just weren't in a position to do that at the very beginning of this, right? So let's go ahead and grab fuel for fire to get some... Oh, wow, that's a 70-day focus. Let's go ahead and grab that in order to get some additional output on our factories. So that will be absolutely wonderful. A fascist coup in Chile. Okay, an interesting development to be sure. For now, we're not terribly concerned about that. We're just busily working away on getting our company online. But everything is looking pretty okay for the moment. So taking over administrative rights is definitely something that we're going to do. Conscription laws cost economy laws. Speaking of which, what are our economy laws? These have not changed. Okay. Good to know. Not yet, anyway. Once we legalize the opium trade, that'll be a thing. Oh, Iran is having a civil war. Okay, well, that's a little closer to home, but it's fine. I'm sure they'll be okay. I'm sure they're going to have a great time with it. Speaking of time, it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to go through this fiscal year here. And we are going to have a reasonable tax rate here, I think. 9 to 20 factories. Yeah, this is probably going to be within this fiscal year. So I think that we will have a 15% tax rate at the end of this fiscal year. That's going to be kind of awkward, but it's fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.